Good morning, everybody. Ooh. Ah. Good morning, everybody. Now I think you can hear me. Okay, great. Wow. Thanksgiving was amazing. I'm actually not going to share photographs of every dish that I indulged in yesterday. They were delicious. I think that you all also had a beautiful Thanksgiving. So that's yesterday. Yesterday we were thankful. Today we get to move on for what the future holds. And in particular, guys, what I believe the future holds is Jack Smith planning to release his report before the inauguration. And just to be clear, this is a report, or at least two reports, apparently. And what I want to do is actually show you the article that I was reading this morning that helped inspire today's thumbnail. Okay, I'm thinking that you can see exactly what I am looking at. And sadly, we also have, I'm going to close the ads. Great. So this is an article. I'm going to scroll back. Jack Smith plans to release report before Donald Trump is sworn in. And this came in from CNN. And of course, this came in a couple days ago, but I want to share it with you because that is the topic, main topic today. So we're hearing that the report will come out sometime before Inauguration Day, and this is according to sources close to the matter. Now, one hopes, of course, that Merrick Garland does not shut down that process, right? And we have a source. The commentator on this is my dear friend, Ellie Honig, lovely guy, a legal analyst for CNN. And he said, historically, these special counsel reports are quite detailed. And he was speaking in this interview with Jim Acosta right before Thanksgiving. And he said, this is Ellie Honig, that Jack Smith's last and best chance to tell his story in both cases. And he's already done that to some extent through his indictments and court filings. But this will be the historical record. Now, guys, I am very much looking forward to this happening. And here's why. Because we are going to finally end people saying this comment, well, that's not going to matter, or how will that matter? Because it won't, right? This report being released, no one's saying it's going to have an election impact. No one is expecting a fresh indictment. No, the walls aren't closing in. The purpose of these reports that Jack Smith hopefully will release before January 20th, unless Merrick Garland stands in the way, hopefully these reports will just be a celebration of the truth. How about just truth, just information? And yes, some people will say, I don't believe it, but these will be in the historical record, something that is not buried for history, something that people like me who study white collar crime and corruption, in particular corporate and white collar crime and public corruption, we all have our little mitts on this. I cannot wait. And I will have plenty of time to look through it bit by bit. And guys, I cannot wait because I know these. I mean, I actually still have, the minute the Mueller report came out, I didn't want to wait for it to be bound and printed. I took the PDF and I downloaded it and I had it put in spiral bound folders by my local copy shop. And excuse me, I definitely need coffee today. I'm really jazzed about this. So when these reports come out, I will be downloading, printing, spiral binding them, highlighting them, and I will be telling you the key thing that is in them. And the good news is most of these reports usually come with like a 10-page executive summary. And whatever's there, I mean, the minute these come out, I will stop everything. Now, the only thing I won't stop, obviously, is class. If I'm teaching class or I'm meeting with a student, that is a top priority. Or, of course, a medical emergency. But beyond that, sleep doesn't matter. Food doesn't matter. Driving my car doesn't matter. I will pull to the side of the road and start reading. I swear to you, I will pull to the side of the road. There's got to be a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks. and I will stay there until I have grokked enough of these reports that I can share them with you. Now, guys, Deb, Susan, Jason, my mods, and all my friends, I need you to tell me, do you want me to do an emergency live special the minute these come out? Or should I just wait until the regular show? I know what I want to do. Like my instinct is live, like just here it is, because I can, while I'm on the computer streaming to you, I can take my phone out, right? And I can tell you what I found. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Dedication. Woohoo. You guys, you have no idea. I'm just so happy about this because I love to get information. I am what you would call an information junkie. I want to know the next thing. I want to know about people I meet. If I met you in person, you would be doing all of the talking. You can ask Michael. I mean, it's amazing. I will talk to someone. I'll just say one thing, one question, and the next thing you know, someone has told me their most intimate life stories as well as something interesting about their history that they've really never talked about before. Not something deeply personal necessarily, but something super interesting that no one has actually cared to hear. So I love information and I want to share it with you. So guys, I will drop everything except class, as you know, and we will see each other. I'll give you a warning. I will put out the flares by just setting up. You know what I'm going to do? Oh my God, I hate to brainstorm with you, but guys, I'm going to get my thumbnail ready. Instead of waiting to the last minute, I'm going to now make my thumbnail. I don't mean now while we're talking, but after the show, I will make the thumbnail something that says, not the eagle has landed, but of the equivalent. Report is here, or emergency, live report has landed. And that will be there. And I will just put it up and you will know. Okay, so I'm excited. I don't know what's going to be in it beyond what we know, but I love the idea of this report, these reports about Donald Trump trying to engage, failing at his coup attempt, and Donald Trump, and that includes interfering in the election and obstructing justice, as well as him violating our national securities laws and obstructing justice in connection with his refusal to give back and hiding those really top secret documents and possibly sharing them with others. So I'm very happy that we will have the details. So we also have some other news today. In other news, as you know, Donald Trump has announced that he will impose a 25% tariff on all goods coming in from Mexico, from China, and from Canada. And as you know, we've talked about how little people fully understand about how tariffs work, and that the fact that it is abundantly clear to the rest of us, right, how tariffs work, how tariffs are paid by businesses, not by governments, right? And we also know how the price of a tariff is passed along to the customers. I was just over on TikTok the other day. I'm not going to share this video with you because I don't know if it's apocryphal or if it's real, but a woman says she was at her local grocery store, maybe a specialty grocery store, and she walks in and there's a customer there, and he's checking out and or he's in the produce aisle, and some guy who stocks the produce said to him, "Yeah, our prices are going to be going up 20% next week," or whatever he said. I don't know the amount. I don't know if it fully matched, but he probably said 25%. And the guys were like, "Why?" And he said, "Because of the tariffs." And the man was shocked. And he said, "Yes. What do you think? We buy our avocados and most of our produce from Mexico. That's how it gets here. Have you noticed?" This was probably on the East Coast, but have you noticed it's cold outside? When you look outside, do you see tomatoes growing, or even generally avocados? How's that lettuce doing at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and below? The fresh produce that you see in our store essentially comes from Mexico. So we are going to increase 25% the prices. And the man was like, "What? I don't understand it." He's like, "We have to pay 25% more for these avocados. What do you think we're going to do? Eat that cost?" And the man looked sad and said, "No, pass it along." Okay. I don't know what it is, but this is basic math. But the problem, my friends, isn't that people can't do math. It's that they're in a cult and that Donald Trump lied to them and his supporters continued to lie about what a tariff was, right? He's continually said, no, a tariff is something paid by the government. And he continues says that tariff's not a tax. Okay, so here we have it. Oh my God, Susan Thompson says, don't be shocked when an avocado costs $8. Jabberwocky, you're right. Some price gougers will tack on much more. And that's true. I mean, the issue is we're saying 25%. I mean, the problem, of course, it's possible that providers, it may be less than that because there may be less of a demand if these sales, if people simply can't afford this. We have a kitchen full of avocados, but as you know, they ripen in a few days. That's not going to last until after the tariffs come in. So that's happening. So what I want to share with you though, there's that but there's a little bit more news on the tariffs. Donald Trump was claiming that he spoke to the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, and that she had caved somehow in some way and was going to stop all the traffic of undocumented people across the border. Now, this is not what I understood. What I understood is they'd had a conversation, but that Sheinbaum had explained that the vast majority of narcotics, specifically fentanyl, are brought across the border by American citizens, not undocumented people, and that she was doing her job, in fact, to try to stem the flow of migrants across the border. So I want to play for you what CNN had to say about Sheinbaum's response to Donald Trump's lies.
He said, she said, breaking tonight a dispute between the president-elect of the U.S. and Mexico's president over a phone call. Who agreed to what and what it may mean for the U.S.-Mexico relationship. Donald Trump brought out some of his best words, for example, wonderful, to describe a conversation with Mexico's Claudia Sheinbaum, ending his Truth Social post by claiming she agreed to, quote, stop migration through Mexico and into the United States. Sheinbaum actually just responded moments ago, and the short version is never, no, not once, did she say anything of the kind. Sheinbaum on X was writing, we reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close borders, but to build bridges between governments and between peoples.
Okay, so, I'm sorry. So the story that Sheinbaum was going to close the border wasn't true. Not fully sure what happened in their conversation. None of us was there. But again, let me just put this up. I just want to show you in the part of this video from CNN, this reporting these. I'm going to freeze at this screenshot of Donald Trump's Truth Social so we can dissect it. Okay.
He said, she said,
okay.
Breaking tonight a dispute between the president-elect of the U.S. and Mexico's president over a phone call. Who agreed to what and what it may mean for the U.S.-Mexico relationship. Donald Trump brought out some of his best words, for example, wonderful, to describe a conversation with Mexico.
Okay, so let's look at this. Now, this happened on the night before Thanksgiving. This happened last Wednesday night. And yesterday's show was really about flaming turkey. So I did not focus on this. So this is where he claims that she's agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States. That is not what she said that she agreed to. She said that we're not even, it's not stopping. The flow has already been stemmed. To be done. And we also talked about what can be done to stop the massive drug inflow. Okay. So that is not what the conversation was with Sheinbaum at all. And the problem is that, that is, obviously they have different theories about what was said. Now, Sheinbaum says that she had an excellent talk with Trump. She dismissed the tariff threat. I'm going to show you this just so you can. I'm going to share this screen with you. This is from the Washington Post. And this says Mexico's president has excellent talk with Trump and dismisses tariff threat. And here she said that she spoke to him after he threatened to impose tariffs, and she hinted at retaliation in a letter. Okay, so this is an article. This was updated on the 28th. So this was updated yesterday. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and President-elect Donald Trump agreed in a phone call that their countries will have a good relationship, she said Thursday, and she dismissed his threat to impose a 25% tariff on Mexico's exports if it didn't stop the flow of migrants and fentanyl to the United States. She said there will not be a potential tariff war, Sheinbaum told reporters in her daily news conference. So this is the fact that they gave very different versions of the call that happened on Wednesday. Trump said on his Truth Social platform that Sheinbaum had agreed to stop migration through Mexico, which would mean effectively closing our southern border immediately. That prompted a response late Wednesday from Sheinbaum. Mexico's stance is not to close borders, but to build bridges. So what does this mean for all of us? Well, these contradictory accounts, I'm reading from the Washington Post story, reflected the uncertainty around the relationship between the United States and its top trading partner as Trump prepares to take office. Sheinbaum said Thursday that her government would continue policies launched under pressure from the Biden administration that have disrupted the flow of U.S.-bound migrants. And apprehensions at the border have plunged about 75% since December. But nevertheless, both leaders have said that the call was positive. I don't know what to tell you. I'm wondering if Donald Trump was told by his advisors, and it finally sunk in, that crashing the economy wasn't a great idea. And so now he's going to back away, pretending that it was him, not Joe Biden, whose policies are reducing the flow of drugs and migrants into the country. Now, I don't want to equate human beings with narcotics. That was not my intent. I'm speaking to what Donald Trump was referring to. And let's be clear, coming to America, first of all, is not in itself unlawful. Many people come here seeking asylum. Furthermore, there was a time when many people could come to America more freely than they can now. And let's also remember that Donald Trump himself, his current wife, came to America in a way that was not allegedly entirely lawful and was somehow admitted through something called an Einstein visa. I don't have to be a genius myself or a physicist to understand that, or even have to met Albert Einstein to know that Melania Trump is no Albert Einstein. Now, let's continue. I've got something to say here about what's going on, and in terms of the morons that Donald Trump surrounds himself with. So, I want to share with you something that Tom Nichols, who is just retired from the Naval War College. I think he teaches still in the Harvard Extension School, frequent commentator on MSNBC, expert in armed conflict in particular, and really generally a nice guy. I've met him a couple times, once on the Harvard campus when I was teaching at the law school, and I just happened to walk by him, and another time on set at MSNBC. And here's what he has to say about Tommy Tuberville, senator from Alabama, how confused he actually is about how our government works and how his state benefits. Let's play this.
Yeah, this is one of the oldest false choices in American politics. This is something that happens, every 4 years. If only we weren't spending the money here, we'd be spending the money there. If only we weren't sending it to this country, we'd be, spending it. First of all, Americans need to understand that foreign aid is actually money spent in the United States. A lot of the weapons, Senator Tuberville had a comment the other day about this, apparently unaware that many of the weapons that are bought and sent to Ukraine are made in Alabama. People don't realize that most of American foreign aid, which is less than 1% of our budget, is spent in the United States on American workers for American products. And the idea that you can simply say, well, things happening in other parts of the world will never affect us is foolish and short-sighted. And again,
okay, so I'm glad to see Tom on. I'm not sure what the future of MSNBC is. I'm thinking, guys, we should have him on our show. I'm sure he would appear. I think he'd be a fabulous guest. to talk about what is in store for us and how to deal with the next 4 years or more. Okay, another favorite is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas. Let's hear what she has to offer. We'll talk on the other side.
That we have Americans that are waking up and saying, wait a minute, are you saying that tariffs are going to negatively impact me? Are you saying that we're going to have to pay for this? It's kind of like that wall that we're still waiting on Mexico to build, right? That they're going to pay for it. No, we're going to pay for it. We're going to be the ones that are suffering. And for those that thought that inflation was bad, even though it has come down, even though that it is honestly, cooled off here a lot quicker than it cooled off in the rest of the world, let me just tell you, it's time to buckle up, Buttercup, because it is about to be on and popping if for some reason he gets half of this done. And right now, looking at the henchmen that he is trying to put into his administration, we are on track to see a lot of these negative things impact our economy.
Now, what?
On and poppin'. I love her. So here's the deal. Remember this. As scary and as threatening Donald Trump has been and will be in terms of trying to dismantle the civil service and the federal government, et cetera, let's remember that the states, that Congress exists, right? When you look at the U.S. Constitution, the first article is Article 1. Article 1 establishes the United States Congress, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The president, the executive branch, doesn't appear until Article 2, right? And then, of course, we have the judiciary in Article 3. What is my point? I'm not just counting numbers. We led with representatives of the people. So we have members of Congress, and I know the scales are tipped slightly toward Republicans, but not all of them are full-on MAGA supporters. There are some breaks, but even if, when it comes to the executive branch, Donald Trump wreaks havoc, even if and when the mass deportations start, even when and if and when the economy crashes, remember, we have voices like Jasmine Crockett. We have voices in the Congress, in the Senate. We have people like Jamie Raskin, and we may even, fingers crossed, if he decides to run for J.D. Vance's seat and wins the Senate again, we'll have people like Sherrod Brown. We will have oversight. One of the most important roles that Congress plays is the role of oversight. Always has been. And I'm just going to put in a pitch for this. As you know, I work at Wayne State University in the law school. And at the university, we have something called the Levine Center for Government Oversight. And this center was started by Senator Levin after he retired from the Senate and is now run by fabulous people. The main office in Detroit is run by Jim Townsend, who's a former state rep. And we have other folks out of the DC office, Elise Bean, who is fabulous. She is a name you may not know. It's Elise Bean. And she worked with Senator Carl Levin on the Senate Permanent Subcommittee for Investigations for decades. She is the author and the brains behind so many of the reports and sort of helping orchestrate these congressional oversight investigations. So, a lot of people think of the House and the Senate as being there to pass legislation. But I think at this point in time, and always, that the role of oversight is often forgotten. And now more than ever, Congress will be in that oversight role. Just like how Jack Smith is going to release reports, I want you to know that you don't need to have the majority. You don't need to be in the majority to do an investigation, to conduct an investigation, to release reports. Right now, more than ever, staff of minority members of the House and Senate need to sharpen their pencils, need to pour a pot of coffee, and need to start making plans for what they want to keep their eyes on. And I am excited because I will be sharing with you whether or not they do this. I'm going to be introducing you to the work of the Levine Center. I'm merely a faculty advisor, but deep in my heart, I'm always a cheerleader, back to my Little League football days. So I will be a cheerleader for the Levine Center and sharing with you the reports that they put out. And there are many. They are, one of these unsung heroes of oversight investigations. Okay, great. Now, guys, it is time. This is a short show, but it is a holiday, so I hope you will forgive me. And it is now time for Crazy Town. If I can get my Crazy Town music up and queued. Here we go. Okay, I don't know why I like to. It's such a silly song, but I can't help bopping around to Crazy Town. Today's Crazy Town, and I'm going to make this a habit. I don't want to play the music over the person speaking, but as she fades out, I will start playing the music. Okay, guys? So, or sometimes what I do is I play it twice so that when I crank up the music after the speaker, you've already heard her once. Okay, we have now for Crazy Town, Joni Ernst, and she is talking about DOGE, the Department of Government. What is this thing? It's not even a department. It's the DOGE department is the Elon Musk Department of Government. It's the Department of Government Efficiency, which apparently isn't a real department because you can't. Let me just tell you something about the Constitution. The executive branch doesn't get to just create a new agency, guys. Okay, they would have to have Congress do this. So this is outside of government, but they're calling it the Department of Government Efficiency, kind of like how Donald Trump was calling his scam, multi-level marketing scheme or whatever it was, his scam university, right? His plan to strip people out of their retirement savings and more by claiming that he was handpicking people to teach them the secrets of how to be rich like him in real estate. And it was all a crock. Kind of like how he wasn't allowed to call it a university anymore. Well, he'll continue to call this Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, as in Dogecoin, ha, ha, ha. He'll continue to call it that. This thing run by Stephen Miller and Elon Musk, a department. It ain't that. But here is Joni Ernst. Here's Joni Ernst talking about that and making an idiot of herself for Crazy Town.
Just common sense. And if the Democrats aren't willing to come along with us, or if they're naysayers to the Department of Government Efficiency, it's probably because they're eating the pork out of the trough. And we really do need to start slimming back and cutting the fat. Iowans sent me to Washington, D.C. to make them squeal, and I have been working on these efforts for 10 years now. I've presented that information to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
It's Vivek Ramaswamy, guys, not Stephen Miller. Thank you for correcting me. Stephen Miller actually is like Deputy Chief of Staff. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be in this Department of Efficiency, which doesn't exist. And it's kind of amazing.
Along with us, or if they're
amazing.
Naysayers to the Department of Government Efficiency.
Okay, guys.
Probably because they're eating the pork out of the trough. And we really do need to start slimming back and cutting the fat. Iowans sent me to Washington, D.C. to make them squeal, and I have been working on these efforts for 10 years now. I've presented that information to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
Wow. Okay, calling us pigs eating out of a trough, that's a really good way to bridge, to make bridges, to treat Americans and, treat all of us with respect. I'm looking at that guy who is hosting her on the show, and I feel like you all know who that is, former congressman from California. I want to say that his name, you guys, is Jason. I don't remember. Does it really matter? But he was one of Donald Trump's henchmen. And let's just continue our way out here. This is going to be a really hard sell. No one cares anymore. I feel like one of the good things about people sort of saying, this is the government you guys want. It's not doing anything. I mean, the thing that helps these fascists and these idiots is to get in fights with us and to say, look, the so-called tolerant left, look how mean they are. And you know what? I'm not playing into that game. If people are being rude or ignorant or presenting fraudulent claims or have done illegal things, I'm just going to say it. I am not, and none of you are, elected officials. I'm a citizen. I'm not going to allow them to say Democrats this, Democrats that. I am an American. I'm a Michigander. I'm a law professor and a citizen, and I will continue to use my voice even as Crazy Town takes over the nation. Okay, have a great holiday weekend. I'll see you in December.